Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. Today we have the Darlington Raceway Southern 500 Throwback Weekend coming your way. Another lengthy Darlington race. We have had some lengthy races as of late, of course with some crown jewels as well. The Coca-Cola 600 and now the Southern 500, very close to one another. And of course the two longest tracks are races on the calendar. So we have a big throwback weekend ahead. There is a handful of throwbacks, but it's mainly to this guy, Denny Hamlin. Joe Gibbs Racing throwing it back to Denny Hamlin in his final season. Of course, there is a few other throwbacks like this one right here for the 15 of Ryan Preece, but there's Ty Gibbs throwing it back to the early career days of Hamlin back in like 2007. Here's a throwback to Hamlin back in the Xfinity Series days as well on Christopher Bell's number 20. There you see the number 2 snap-on machine of Austin Cindric, actually with a Keselowski throwback, but then I'm throwing it back to my favorite era of Denny Hamlin's paint schemes, and that's that 2009-2010 era. I really enjoyed that paint scheme era, and as well when FedEx would kind of have different colors for like FedEx Express, FedEx Ground, those kind of things. I mean, that was such a cool era where you would have the blue FedEx, the green, the red, the orange as well. Really wish we could have that back, but obviously we never will. All good things come to an end, and now we have the garbage we get nowadays with the FedEx paint schemes that, in my personal opinion, don't look that great on the 11 car. Now is focusing in on practice. Pretty happy with the car coming into this weekend. Of course, really happy because we're coming off of our first win of the season last episode in Dover. Our first win as well, of course, with Joe Gibbs Racing. And now that leaves only one JGR driver without a win, and that's Hamlin in his final season now, as we would get rolling in this Top Golf throwback now for qualifying here on Saturday afternoon, as a goal on the top right there, 29.598. Can we actually match that now as we roll through 1 and 2? Such a tricky track, of course, Darlington. That's kind of what this track's all about, how tricky it is, how easy it is to ruin your race, hit the wall, etc., and damage your car. Out of turn 4, a decent exit. Down the front straightaway we go. It's going to be close to the goal, but we beat it by a couple tenths of a second, 2 to be exact. P11 here in the Southern 500. Pretty happy overall with that qualifying effort now, as that will set us up nicely for this race. Logano on pole over Kyle Larson. Logano actually coming into this weekend saying finally, since his leg injury in Texas, he is now feeling 100% again. So we'll see what that means on the track for Joey Logano as you see the rest of the order on your screen. 35% race on the way, but first up, Xfinity Series action. While they were in Texas, William Sawalich picked up his second win of his Xfinity season over Parker Retzlaff, Jones, Purdy, Allgaier, all there in the top 5. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the top 10. Connor Zilisch, Jesse Love both just outside the top 10. Carruth there, P16, a solid effort for him as you look down the rest of the finishing order for this race now. But now we'll focus in on the Southern 500 weekend. Let's get ready to go throwback racing in Darlington.
It's the Southern 500 weekend here from Darlington Raceway, a track with so much character and history that has produced iconic moments from the sport, including the closest finish in NASCAR history.
Hard to believe that was over 20 years ago now, Mike. You know, we all love this racetrack and all drivers want to win here. Another new winner last week with Owen. I think we get another tonight, Kevin.
I agree, and this is why Clint. I think William Byron finally puts an end to his winless streak tonight, guys.
Okay, mate, lots less pressure. Obviously now let's go have some fun and try to win another one tonight.
Yeah, 10-4. I like the idea, James. Let's just keep it clean, and I'll try to not hit the wall, and we'll try to win. So what a season it has been. We've really turned a corner in these recent episodes now. William Byron and as well Chastain, including Josh Williams, all starting at the back. Byron with a transmission replacement. Chastain failed technical inspection. You see that Ego paint scheme on the car. Love that one. That was actually made by Jarrett Designs. You can check him out on Twitter. Absolutely fantastic paint schemes he makes, also on Instagram. But now we are ready to roll here from Darlington, side by side with Denny Hamlin in his FedEx throwback. The green flag is out here from Darlington, and we are officially underway now as we head down towards turn number 1, the Southern 500. So much, of course, character history around this event in this NASCAR Cup Series, and hopefully tonight, maybe, just maybe, we can add our name on the list of drivers that have won this prestigious race. Now a push to the back of the 60 of Justin Haley on the run down into turn 3. This is where we don't want to be in the race, or specifically on the restarts, is on the outside. Now with the 35% race here in Darlington, we're looking at a similar length to the Coke 600, which just in short means it's long. We're racing for a while tonight here in Darlington, so settle in. 39 laps in stage 1. We cannot make it anywhere close to the end of the stage on field. We'll have to pit about 25 or so laps into the stage if it goes green. From here we could stretch it to maybe a 26, 27, but tires, they are quite important at this racetrack. So you can see immediately Kyle Larson out in front right now, as Joey Logano might have qualified pole, but he is certainly not showcasing pole running pace right now, and I think that's Shane Van Gisbergen, and yes it is, SVG in the 97 alongside him, and we would be in this kind of gridlock as I already get Bondo's into the outside wall. What a stupid idiot, my man. Not happy. As we'll keep that one in our back pocket. We keep it going, but we've been put into the wall by the 17 of Chris Buescher that was already on just the opening laps of this race. So we settle in P12 and try to kind of get a rhythm back going, and you can see we got speed. We're closing back up on these cars. Logano is already down to P10, so he is dropping like a rock right now as we look to the inside of Justin Haley down this front straightaway now, and we would continue to move our way forward. As we pass the 60, we'll get right to the left. We're actually into the back of the 22, send him sideways down this back straightaway, but he's all good. He saves it, and we would get up the inside into turn 3 on this 7th of 39 laps in stage 1. We'll be able to pass Logano on the exit of turn 4 heading down this front straightaway. So back into the top 10, Tyler Reddick just in front of us. Reddick definitely in the conversation of the best driver that hasn't won this season, but now he's the best driver into the outside wall. Tire failure on the right front. It looked like the caution's gonna fly for the number 45 of Tyler Reddick early in the show, and the caution is out. Larson, Bubba, Gibbs, Kozlowski, SVG, your top 5, as nobody's going to come to the pits aside from the 45, and the reason for that is quite simple. If we pit now, we cannot make it to the end of the stage at that point, so we still would have to make an additional pit stop. So everybody's going to play it safe. We'll go back racing from P9. Tyler Reddick still in the race, so not completely a disaster for him, but it should take him out of the running for stage points at the absolute minimum, because he's only got 28 laps, of course. So 28 laps of racing is basically what a stage 1 would be back on the 25% race lengths that we used to do. So yeah, that basically adding 10 laps just about in every extra stage, another 30 laps of racing basically here side by side, right on the back here actually of the 17 of Chris Buescher. Now as we roll through 3 and 4, look at behind us right there. How about Carson Hocevar actually up into the mix right now? A solid run right now for that number 26 as we head down this front straightaway. Kyle Busch in that 3G number 99 Trackhouse Chevrolet. Some rough luck for Kyle Busch last episode, if you remember, of course. Now as we've been taken 3 wide, I slid up the track into the 9. Hocevar was able to pounce on it. Fortunately, we avoid having too much contact right there, and we're able to go on in the right direction. So we'll continue on in P10. Once again, Larson currently leading, but he's under a lot of pressure from Ty Gibbs and Bubba Wallace. And here we go to the inside of this 9, and now we've got a gridlock again. It looks like that 17 to the 97. I think it's SVG that just doesn't have the pace. He was kind of backing up some cars, and now we're up the inside of SVG's teammate of Kyle Busch as we roll through turns 1 and 2, and on the exit of the corner, this is where our number 19 Top Golf throwback is really excelling right now. It's up and off of turn 2. I can get into turns 3 really well, so the entrance to 3 is definitely the second strongest point of this track for me now, as we would be able to clear the 97 in 1 and 2, and we'll now move up into that 7th position. Now to the inside of Chris Buescher. He put us in the wall earlier, but I'm going to save doing anything back to him for now because we are rolling really nicely right now into P6. Carson Hocevar would be next. To the back of him, to the inside of the Andretti Global Machine, we would clear him into turn 3. He would fight back. on the outside, but not enough on the exit. So into the top 5 here in Darlington. We'll take it now is Kozlowski. Brad Kozlowski currently in front of us, but Ty Gibbs now leading this race over Larson and Bubba Wallace, who's up there in the mix. And there's a car on the wall. That's Eric Jones in the 43 who goes around in turn 4. The caution's going to fly. He's actually going to go airborne and go up and over and on his side. He reports that he is fine there. A big tumble, but no real hard hits there. So that's going to bring everybody into the pit lane for 4 tires as well as fuel. I didn't really know exactly what we needed to do to the car at this point, but we actually did have 3 drivers stay out. Ryan Newman, Tyler Reddick in the 45, and I can't quite tell who the other one is, but we are back racing here, and it's going to be about 15 laps to go in stage number 1, so we get back underway behind that Excel Energy number 23, and that's actually Chase Purdy, and the number 33, one of the part-time drivers in that 3rd RCR car for this season, so we'll have to pay attention there. We heard the recent news, of course, RCR and Kevin Harvick coming together next season as Richard Childress is stepping away from the ownership role. Harvick and Austin Dillon come together and they are going to basically lead the team from next season on. So I don't expect RCR to be a threat next season, but hopefully maybe for that team it's going to be an opportunity to focus on transitioning in the right direction there. Into the back of the 99 of Kyle Busch. He goes for a slide. He saves it. I was just trying to aggressively get down to the inside because Chase Purdy and Newman both, look at how much they're holding up everybody right now as we head down this back straightaway, and this was an absolute mess right now. I was going 3 wide here now with Kyle Busch and SVG, and now trying to get to the left rear of my teammate Gibbs, but I didn't want to force him 3 wide into an awkward position, so it's an absolute mess. Sammy Smith, the rookie, to my right rear quarter panel. Riley Herbst going around the outside of these cars now. It's an absolute disaster, but here we go, 3 wide down the back straightaway and to the back of Chase Purdy as we head down into turn number 3. And I'm just going to bulldoze through this 33 because I think it's just, I mean, so unsportsmanlike to put yourself in that position, and same for Ryan Newman, but we get past him anyways and we can finally focus on going forward again. We pass SVG for P11 on lap 30, 10 to go at the line right there, coming to 9 to go at this point, and we continue to close in on the cars in front. Tyler Reddick, of course, on older tires. We are able to run down that gear wrench Toyota Camry as we get right into the back of him, actually down this front straightaway, but eventually we're going to have a chance to be able to actually get this pass done, and that's going to be right here on the exit of turn 2. So Kyle Larson, after all of that kind of mess right there, is back out front, but it didn't last for long. Christopher Bell would get to the lead of this race now as we clear John Hunter Nemechek for P9. Well, we go green to the end of the stage. Here comes Ross the Boss Chastain, who of course started in the back after inspection issues, and he is driven into the top 10 and has run me down as we are now trying to focus in on that number 17 of Chris Buescher. We run him down lap 35 down the SPAC straightaway, side by side, dead even, and we're going to have to sail it off into turn 3 if we really want to clear the 17. There we go, clear, but hold on, we sent it a little bit too much to the inside. He would get back, so we would be alongside into turn number 1, and now contact with the 1. Chastain puts us into the outside wall just like Buescher did earlier in the race, and we'll get an immediate replay of that one as I'm just doing my thing on the outside. And I mean, that's pretty obvious right there. The 1 car just drove into my left rear, so we would actually lose the spot as that was happening to Sammy Smith, who would pass me, but we would get up the inside of the 17, who I was no longer frustrated with at this point in time. It was now the 1 of Chastain who was continuing, unfortunately for me, to drive away here. Final lap of stage 1. It's Christopher Bell getting the stage 1 win. We're alongside Sammy Smith, and even after the chaos, getting put into the wall a couple times and all the other things mixed in between, we still manage a top 10. We get P10 here in stage number 1, but certainly some frustrations after all of that happening here, but we'll get ready to go back racing for this stage number 2. Everybody's going to come into the pit lane for 4 tires as well as fuel, and hopefully this car is going to be in good shape now. I think we have a good long run car, and that's kind of where we've excelled in these recent races, especially Charlotte Coke 600. We were so strong on that long run, and as well last episode we really got strong on the long run. We gained 2 spots in the pit lane, so from P10 to P8 alongside Sammy Smith. How about Andretti Global? Both drivers have run in the top 10 so far here today. Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson leads the way down towards turn number 1. Tyler Reddick all the way at the back of the field there. He's got a lot of work to do again to claw his way back forward. An absolute waste, in my opinion, staying out. And he actually, I forgot to mention, he had to pit before the end of the stage. And how about this? He actually did lose the lap, but William Byron, he had to start in the back too. And here he goes into the top 10. It looks like that 24 has got some speed. He would pass Chastain. He was on the inside of Sammy Smith as well. Byron, we've been talking about it every episode at this point now as we give the payback to the number 1. What a nice little bump and run that is. Thank you very much, Ross. We'll move back through into P9, but that 24 trying to find a way back to victory lane. Here comes my teammate Ty Gibbs now up the inside on the exit of turn 2, sideways on the exit of the corner. We save it and continue on in the 10th position now, but here we go. Chastain trying to look to my left rear. We got into the back of the 54, had to check up, and now Chastain goes by on the inside. This is kind of reminding me of last episode in terms of just that the racing is really, really good, but again, we come up on this 2x2 gridlock, and it's actually because of one car. It's the 17 of Chris Buescher. He's really struggling for pace at this point in time, and he is not allowing anybody to go past him. So we were stuck at the back of this, and I could go 3 wide, but I was trying to not compromise my teammate Ty Gibbs at this point in time. Bubba Wallace was able to join the mix. He was put down the order due to the slower cars staying out a little bit earlier, but finally Buescher goes to the outside, and Kozlowski is going to go through. Gibbs is going to go through. Sammy Smith now is well to the inside, so everybody's going to start to be able to go through on the inside. And actually, I decided to get my payback on the 17 now for earlier in the race. We door him on the exit of turn 4, put him in the outside wall. We have got to win under our belt now at this point. My ego might be a little bit high, of course, with how we're racing some of these guys, but mainly I'm saying, hey, if you're gonna, go after us, we're gonna stand our ground. We proved that last season. We're gonna prove it again this season as well. You can push around, but we're gonna make sure we give it back, and it's gonna be a lot harder when you get it back here now as we clear Sammy Smith now for 8th place. Christopher Bell continues to lead. Here comes Bubba Wallace. Look at the run. That 23 car is very strong. 21 to go in the stage. Lap 17 we start of this stage. 37 laps total. We are going to be pitting soon. As you can already see, I believe that might be, yes it is, Kyle Larson's going to be coming into the pits now. And here we are going to probably see a few more cars come in shortly. Christopher Bell actually pitted from the lead. William Byron now the leader. That 24 looking very, very impressive right now as we get past Carson Hocevar. Nearly we're putting Ryan Newman a lap down. More cars pitting. Chastain, Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace all included as well. We continue side by side with Hocevar as we would roll through 1 and 2. He actually gets clear on the outside, and here's Chase Purdy now, of course, driver in the Xfinity Series, having lots of success for the same team, Richard Childress Racing, but we'll clear him and Hocevar into turn number 3. More pit stops right there, including Hocevar. There's Elliott. Byron's going to stay out. I'm going to stay out one more lap is what I'm going to do. So we'll come in at the end of this next lap right here, lap 22. No, we're not. Caution's out, and a bunch of drivers just got screwed, as that is going to put several drivers stuck. 1 lap down. Look at that. That's what, 20th of Josh Berry on down. That just got absolutely screwed over because, of course, not everybody on the lead lap is pitting. Hocevar was on the pit road. He's staying out, and other drivers are going to benefit as well, but everybody a lap down is going to stay a lap down except for Josh Berry. So half the field is lapped because of that guy right there. Joey Logano blows a tire in turn 3, goes for a spin, and my goodness, now that really just took some big names out of the running. Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace, Ty Gibbs, all 4 names right there were running up in the mix, and now they are lapped down as we're back racing alongside the 24 of William Byron, just behind the 98 of not Carson Hocevar, but Colton Herta. Actually, it was supposed to be Nick Sanchez in this 98 car for this Andretti Global team, but it's Herta instead, quite simply because for some reason, specifically him, I forgot to mod the name to be different. So Colton Herta ends up getting to make another start here for the Andretti Global team now as we try to focus on moving forward, but currently Chase Elliott benefiting with the timing of the caution and whatnot inside the top 10. How about Corey LaJoie running inside the top 10? Not been a common thing recently out of the 48 car. It's been a miserable season for LaJoie, and Hendrick Motorsports is not going to wait around for Corey LaJoie. They will be moving on a lot sooner than expected. if he doesn't turn the performance around. So we'll have to wait and stay tuned. Here now is finally an opportunity here to go 3 wide down this back straightaway towards turn 3. That'll put us into P7, going for P6 now. The 3 wide behind us as well. Kozlowski trying to get after it. William Byron in that 24 is hounding on the back bumper of the 48, trying to get on with it, but will clear the 48 into turn number 3. 10 to go in stage 2, and keep in mind, half the field is a lap down. The quickest cars of the race, Larson, Bell, Bubba Wallace, Gibbs, they're all going to be racing for the lucky dog here going into stage number 3. Maybe they get a caution before stage 3, but we were able to clear Shane Van Gisbergen up into P5 as we try to run down the 17 of Chris Buescher here for the 4th position. It's going to happen right to the back of the 17. He covers the inside. I'm going to go down to the bottom here, half a car length up bottom, and through 3 and 4 we'll clear him, but we bring that 24 of William Byron with us. Now here he goes to the inside. That 24 is an absolute rocket, and look at the speed here as he clears me into turn number 1. It is going to be hard to beat that 24 today, but we have seen it time and time again, and I'm going to mention it again. It's been nearly 80 races since the current regular season point leader has won a race, and that doesn't mean that William Byron has sucked. He's been very solid, very consistent over the whole career mode. He just hasn't found a way to win races. Well, through these next few laps, he would pass everybody in front of me, and he would run down the leader of Chase Elliott in these closing moments of stage number 2, but he kind of got stuck behind that number 9 car on the final lap. He had gotten right to him, but Chase Elliott is going to lead the way out of turn 4, and he is going to win stage number 2. P6 for us here down this front straightaway. A little bit of damage on the right side from a wall hit, but of course we'll get that fixed up right here on the pit stop. I mean, the car's good. I wouldn't change anything. I think it's just really a lack of speed now.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. Just keep doing what you're doing.
You hear that right there. Really not sure exactly what to do, what direction we should go, because overall I think the handling of this car is great. Lucky dog goes to Kyle Larson, so he'll be P21, but he has to go all the way to the back there. We would make a slight adjustment here, 55% to the grill tape. We'll go down on a few rounds there with the wedge and, well, quite simply get ready to go back racing here. Now Chase Elliott, William Byron the front row, Carson Hocevar P3, Kozlowski 4th. He gains a spot over Ryan Blaney in the pit lane here as we're ready to go. Stage 3, the final stage, is underway from this Darlington Raceway Throwback Weekend Southern 500. Now 46 laps to go. So we might be able to make it on one stop if you're stretching it. So I'm expecting, based off of what we've seen so far, cautions are definitely going to be happening throughout the stage. Probably 1 to 2 cautions, I would imagine, starting on the outside here. Not exactly what we want as we head down into turn number 3. But now let's get amped here in the final stage. And there you have amped P8 behind Kyle Busch now, and actually into the back of the 99 for the second time. He's gonna go for a slide. Does he save it? Yes, he does. What a save. That was complete accidental contact. I just overdrove into the back of him. Fortunately, he saves it. Unfortunately, he lost track position, still leading Chase Elliott. Byron right on his rear bumper in that 2nd position. He wants the lead. He's hounding for the lead. And now we're to the back of Chris Buescher again. We've been around the 17 so many times in this race. It's getting annoying at this point. Now, new leader though, William Byron takes over the lead with 40 laps to go. As that's happening, the 17's blowing up. Buescher loses an engine. Into turn 1, the caution's gonna fly. With 40 laps remaining. How about that? Thank goodness we were alongside and not behind the 17. Nobody's going to pit, and this caution will for sure put us into a range where when we do make the next pit stop, we will be able to make it to the end. We do have a few takers. Williams, Nemechek as well, all coming into the pits. I didn't quite catch who's getting the lucky dog there, but Kyle Larson can now go forward. Actually, lucky dog goes to Chastain. He did have a good bit of speed as well in his number 1 car. Of course, such an awkward time. Yellow in stage 2 completely screwed over half the field basically as they're all trying to play catch up now. The green flag is out once again here from Darlington from P6 row 3 alongside that number 6 of Brad Keselowski, of course co-owner of that RFK team. Lap 92 of 128, and now William Byron is clear of Chase Elliott through 1 and 2. He is free to at least make an attempt to run away as we head down this back straightaway, and SVG back up into the mix, and Shane Van Gisbergen hasn't quite had a very strong car, but he's just found a way throughout this race to kind of keep himself in the picture a little bit here and there. Now as we're up the inside of Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney, I mean, so strong here once again in Darlington. He's been really good these last handful of episodes now, to a point where I'm considering him to be a threat at this point now, after he basically had no top 10s at all in the first, 8-9 races in that area at least, and then he's been popping off ever since now. To the back of Keselowski, Elliott fading now that he's lost the lead. Carson Hocevar, Elliott actually into the outside wall there. None of my own doing. He just washed up the track, and actually I do use him up a little bit. I lean on him in 1 and 2, and we get up into 4th place to the back of the 6. But Hocevar, how about him in P2, and how about me in the wall? We hit that weird bump on the exit of turn 2, and that shot us up the track, but there's enough speed in this car to keep us in the picture. We would run down Keselowski and Hocevar again, lap 95 now, right to the back of the 6 of Brad Keselowski as we roll really nicely through 3 and 4 as around goes the 26 of Hocevar right in front of us. A tire blows out and the caution is out here, and immediately you're going to see majority of everybody is going to be coming into the pit lane, but not everybody. We will. But Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott specifically, for whatever reason, elect to stay on the track, and same as Justin Haley and Chris Buescher. Buescher just blew an engine 10 laps ago, and now he's back in 4th position. I mean, isn't that funny how things get rolling? The 9 doesn't go. Elliott slow on the restart. He was actually involved a little bit in that incident with Hocevar at the very end of it. And now we go through into P4. Ryan Blaney to the lead, but I don't think he's got the speed to stay there. Haley goes backwards now, down into 3rd. We'll swing to the inside. William Byron, I mean, everything is working out perfectly for that number 24. I don't think I have the pace for this 24. Absolutely flawless paint scheme on that car, by the way. And look at him breeze past a discount tire Ford Mustang, and now behind myself as we're going to pass Blaney into turn 1, starting lap 100. Here comes Keselowski putting some pressure on me as we come through to lap 102. That 24 already 1.1 seconds ahead down the road with 27 laps to go. William Byron's pace is insane. Now, he's not the only one that's really quick, as I'm starting to struggle a little bit there. Tight on the exit of 4. Keselowski passes me, but Kyle Larson was on the move. He was closing in on us. He was passing everybody in front of him now, passing LaJoy, Kyle Busch as well, as we're engaged in this battle with the 6. Byron is half a straightaway ahead of us, 4 seconds up the road. We got nothing for him, and now we clear Keselowski. A bit of a slide job right there through 3 and 4, but I just look back briefly and I can see that number 5 Wawa red and white Camaro for Kyle Larson on the way. Lap 107 into the outside, while our first true proper Darlington stripe now as we drop down to 3rd position. Corey LaJoy and now Kyle Larson just behind it. What a run for Corey LaJoy, but it didn't last long in 4th, at least, because Larson would take over 4th, and here he comes. Look at the speed in the 5. Does he have anything for William Byron? As now Larson looking for that 2nd win on the season. Here we go down the front straightaway. He's going to get to the back of us. Now the question is, do we make it easy or do we make it tough on that number 5 now as we head down through 1 and 2, and that was your answer. So the 5's going to breeze right past us. We drop down to 4th, and Larson through into 3rd place. Well, we stay green to the end now, and actually here comes some drivers actually exiting the pits. That's Haley, who had just made his pit stop as a caution is out, and that is going to force everybody into the pit lane. And Blaney and Elliott had just made their pit stop, so they will stay out. And if I'm not mistaken, that will put them on the lead lap here. So, because everybody on the lead lap is, in fact, coming into the pit lane. So, yeah, we're all going to pit We should be row 2, but it's going to be curious to see maybe if we can, get somebody in the pits here, get to the inside, and be in a better position for this restart. As you're going to see, the reason for the caution, Chastain blows an engine down the back straightaway. Unlike Chris Buescher, it will be the end of the day for him now. No position shuffling in the top 5. Will be row 2 outside. Byron Larson lined up on the bottom. Kozlowski, myself on the top. We're back racing here from Darlington once again from 4th position. It's 13 laps to go in this Southern 500, and for the 3rd consecutive race, we're in the running right at the end of it. Of course, we didn't quite win in Charlotte, but we won in Dover with so much things kind of developing there at the end of that race, but not a good start for me on the outside. Contact right there with the 17. I got loose off that bump again, and that's going to lose us some track position. We jumped down to P7 behind Colton Herta. We'll go up the inside. How about Herta having a heck of a run, of course, benefiting based off of that caution that screwed many drivers over earlier, but still, I mean, he's putting together a competitive run. The IndyCar star having a good run here today now, but it's Byron Larson, the top 2. Does Kyle Larson have anything for the 24? The answer, no. As the laps are going, Byron is opening up the gap to the number 5. Now to the inside of the 17, we got a lot of RFK presence right here, and Corey LaJoy, it's Hendrick 1, 2, 3. Usually you were expecting the 24, the 5, and the 9, not the 24, the 5, and the 48, but we clear Kozlowski now on the exit of 2 to the back of the number 48 of Corey LaJoy. Couldn't quite pass him right away, so it's taking me a moment to kind of get things up to gear here. As now, into the outside wall, 14, Chase Briscoe, caution's gonna fly again, and this is going to force a late race restart on the field, as Byron was running away in the distance, and we have seen time and time again, Byron, when he's been in position to win races, things have fallen apart in the closing laps. Well, history repeat itself here today in Darlington. We're back racing once again, lap 123. 6 laps of racing remain. Larson, LaJoy, 2nd and 3rd, myself 4th, not where we want to be. We know it's going to be hard to get a good launch on the exit of turn 2. RFK, Kozlowski, Buescher just behind. Trackhouse's Kyle Busch in 5th, slapping the outside wall, but we hit it pretty square, and that allows us to keep the pace. So we continue alongside Kozlowski into turn 3. He leans on us a little bit, shoves us up the track, and now Busch is going to try to go through on the inside as we exit turn number 4. And now here comes Chris Buescher, and in the mirror, that pink and black car, Meyer Shanks, Daniel Suarez. What a turnaround here today for him now as well, but we'll get down in front of him as well as Colton Herta. So P7 now is where we settle in with 5 to go. We know we got speed. Let's get after it. 3 wide already down the back straightaway with Buescher in the 99 of Busch. There we go. We settle into 2 wide P6 now to P5 immediately. Larson still second, 2 to 3 car lengths between him and the 24, and those car lengths would continue to grow. Now about 6-7 car lengths at least between those two, as we'll clear the 48 for 4th. We'll get to the back of the Castro machine of Kozlowski, dive to the inside down this back straightaway, and it's looking like P3 at least is going to be on the cards, but nothing more. That 5's too fast. The 24 is too fast as well, but out of turn 4 we clear Brad Kozlowski for the 3rd position, but that was all she wrote. Coming to the final lap in Darlington, Byron's gap even larger over the number 5. White flag in the air, and the William Byron fans, you guys have held on for so long, wondering when is that next win going to come for the number 24 of William Byron, and it finally looks like it's going to come today, and he can put that near 80 race winless streak to rest as we exit turn 2 down this back straightaway. Hendrick Motorsports this season has seen just Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott go to victory lane, 1 win apiece for them, but Byron's going to join that today. Out of turn 4, William Byron puts the winless streak to the end. He wins in Darlington in the Southern 500. Larson, myself 2nd and 3rd. Unbelievable there, as William Byron finally will get to burn it down. And Darlington, as we'll see the finishing order on the screen. Herta and Suarez, how about them getting top 10s? So many drivers, of course, had to recover in late drives. Christopher Bell didn't get the lucky dog till the tail end of the race. Hamlin, unfortunately, in 28th, really unfortunate there. Reddick as well, 37th, 3 laps down. Strategy, bad timing of cautions really hurt him as well. And the playoff grid, we look at the playoffs. Denny Hamlin's the big thing right here that we're focusing on. Out of the playoffs is at number 11 right now by 3 points. Bubba Wallace back in, then Chandler Smith way out, same as Hocevar, but they're not totally out. And if Todd Gilliland gets back into the top 30 in the points, he's in the playoffs again, and he's only 4 points out of the top 30 at this point in time. I'll see you guys in the next episode from Kentucky, 1.5 mile racing. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.